I was like, yeah, like, I like girls, but, like, maybe I also like boys. Like, who knows, mom?
Very emotional and lots of tears, and I was like, I'm f***ing gay, by the way.
Pride Month can get a little wild. It's a club, skincare, another club, skincare, skincare. You go first.
Hey guys, my name's Quinton and this is my friend Anaury, and we're so excited to be here with Biossance to share our personal stories of just being queer people and our skincare routines in celebration of Pride Month, of course.
Biossance has been kind enough to, in correlation with this video, forward a donation to the Hedrick Martin Institute, which helps LGBTQ plus youth. Today we're going to talk about also just like some coming out stories and some little anecdotes from our lives as like gay males.
And our skincare,
of course, because obviously Pride Month can get a little wild.
Very. It's event after event, so it's important to like take care of your...
It's a club, skincare, another club, skincare. People end up looking pretty tired after like all of that.
No, I've definitely been there. So this year we're gonna be different.
I just washed my face with this right here. This is Squalane Antioxidant Cleansing Oil. It felt kind of like getting a massage on your face.
And I'm more blemish prone, so I use their tea tree oil cleanser. And we're gonna have a little mask time, a little girl time.
Period.
A little mask for mask. So again, because I'm more blemish prone, I'm gonna use the tea tree, Detox mask. Mm-hmm. And you're using rose, right?
I'm going to use a vitamin C rose mask. We're also going to tell you about how I came out and how Quinton came out of the closet. Mm-hmm. I think we have kind of like
full spectrum different
stories. Yeah. I mean, like not too different. I mean, I came out through the internet when I was a sophomore in high school. I was still like in the closet, but like not really. Like I knew myself that like I was just in the closet by choice at this point because everyone would just ask me like, hey, like, are you gay? And I'm like, ugh. Well, maybe so.
Do you think that your family like knew?
Yeah, my family would also always ask me, which I don't think is like the nicest thing to do to someone.
It's important to respect people's like time.
I just felt like my space, my mental space was just being respected. Mm-hmm. One day my mom and I got into like a huge fight, you know, stupid like mom fight, you know, and I was like, oh. And so I sat her down and I'm like, hey, let's talk. Like, I feel really sorry. Like, I'm sorry, like I yelled at you. And she was like, I'm sorry too. And I'm like, you better be. And she was like, and I was like, okay, great. And she was also like, okay, so now we're good. But like, I've always had like this, you know, thought like, I just want to know, like, are you gay? Like, I just need an honest answer. And I'm like, wow. It kind of felt like I was being pressured to come out, but I've also never been someone who, I've always been very expressive, so I've never been someone who's, like, able to hide who I am. So, like, I was like, okay, whatever, like, I'm just gonna come out. I was like, yeah, I like boys, but I also like girls, which was, like, totally not true, clearly. And I was like, yeah, like, I like girls, but, like, maybe I also like boys. Like, who knows, mom? And she's like, okay. And then she started, like, crying a lot. And I'm like, mom, like, don't cry, but, like, also cry like this is, I expect you to cry and, you know, whatever. Like, I come from a, like, Dominican household, my very macho culture. Mm-hmm. And I've always been, like, very resistant towards that. But she was like, I'm not gonna tell your dad, don't worry, like, I want you to do that on your own time. I'm like, thank you, mom. I go and I'm like, hey guys, make a status update. I'm like, hey girls and guys, like, I like boys.
Wow.
And I just pressed enter, and that was it.
Oh my god.
And then everyone knew. I mean, I didn't care to, like, formally tell people outside of my mom and my dad, because, like, that makes no sense to me. Like, they're just people. You know, I was like, okay, now everybody knows. Now leave me alone. And no one gave me like crap about being gay or anything. I was actually,
really fortunate.
I know this kind of sounds like really weird, but I was kind of popular in high school.
That doesn't sound
and
weird. Being
gay like propelled that, you know?
Like,
I was like, yeah, Maddie's gay and he dresses well and blah, blah, blah. First of all, the obvious weight off your shoulder, is like lifted immediately. I felt like I could just finally be myself completely. I started dressing how I wanted to dress, maybe paint my nails, you know, start talking to boys, because like I was also kind of afraid. My nails suck. I also don't know how to be like, no, they're trash, you know they are. Look, right now this mask feels, it's kind of tingly.
I have a tingle going on.
I have a tingle going on, which usually means it's doing something.
Yeah.
So
it's very cooling as well. The tea tree oil always kind of like cools my face. I feel it working, and I feel like we're getting almost close to time to wash it off.
How much time do you apply a mask on for usually?
It depends. Like, you need to read the instructions, because there are some that are like 5 minutes, like quick moisturizing. There are some that are detoxing like 10 to 15. Mine is 10 minutes. So I'm gonna wash it off in a few minutes. What does yours say?
Appliquer 3-4 pompes.
She French. 5 to 15 minutes.
You know how to read in French.
Your skin has kind of absorbed it. Like, I just see like a glow now. Where mine is still kind of tinted.
Yours is kind of matty. Like, it's a little matted. It looks like a little muddy also.
Yeah.
And it furrows your eyebrows.
Yeah. Getting a little deep cleanse in there.
Yeah, I think you need to like, also like, you maybe like missed the spot like right here.
Yeah, and I have like one big breakout that I tried to like concentrate more on, and it totally sucked it up. So I feel like it's helping already. Okay, I'm gonna wash it off.
Okay, go do that. You know, like now it's like completely like fine. Like it's so freaking cheesy, but it's like really time heals everything, and it does get better, which is, it's really true. Like, really, you know, I was like, okay, like you're being kind of an ass now, but like he's fine now.
You'll learn.
I'm like, hey girl, like I had a boyfriend and he like loved him. Always.
My dad like records Drag Race now. It's like so cute. So I'm about to apply the Squalane Peptide Eye Gel. In general, today I've been using and will continue to use some products that are more tea tree based, because I have breakout prone skin and I've recently broken out. So that's always like nice treatment for me. I
have terribly dry skin. Whenever I wash my face, my skin just feels like it's been put through a freezer. And like any moment it's gonna crack into like a million shards. And I usually tend to gravitate more towards like a heavier moisturizer because of that, and like oils.
And New York will just do that to you.
New York will just also like be nasty on your face. And I also do have like under eye, like a lot of like back.
You know we don't sleep enough.
Right,
especially
I don't
during
sleep
Pride
enough.
Month.
Especially during Pride Month, I'm not going to sleep ever.
Every month is Pride Month.
It's pretty, that's true, it's tea.
Yeah.
Pew.
A little secret I've learned is to use the finger next to your pinky, because it is the lightest pressure when touching under your eye. Have you heard that? So let's talk about coming out more.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I was hearing your story...
Where'd you go?
I'm back. So basically we have a really similar story. Like, it was not exactly on my own terms. I have a very like supportive like queer mother. She was working like as a social worker for the AIDS Council. So I'm like very fortunate to have grown up around like people that were like HIV positive and like would speak to me about that, or just like gay and trans allies around me as a young person. So like I was able to like learn and connect.
That's super important.
Yeah, and just to like visualize like what queer identity is as a young person. I feel like not a lot of people have that privilege. So, but also it basically meant like everyone knew I was gay like from the get-go.
I love it.
So 7th grade I went on a walk with this boy, and I was like angling it like, Mom, I'm gonna go meet a friend and we're just gonna walk around. He was kind of cute. He was like a freshman in high school, so I thought that was so cool.
Okay. So where'd you go on your little walk?
We just walked to the perimeter of the middle school before dinner. And I was like nervous, and then I come home from it and I was all like giddy, and my mom was like, she was alone and she was cooking, and she was just like, babe, like now is a great time if you want to like share with me anything about your sexuality or your experience. Like, I know you hear a lot about it from like my friends, but if you want to say anything.
Did she know that you went on a little walk with this boy?
She knew, yeah. And it was like in like eyesight from where she was. So anyway, we sat down. But it's
chaperone first date, I love it.
But it's like similar to you, where it's like my mom initiated it, and it's like I don't have any resentment for her, but like it is important to also like acknowledge that people come out at their own pace and in their own terms. So just creating a safe space for them to do so whenever, I think, is the best way to go about it. But which essentially that's what our parents did in a way. But then also I got in trouble because I was like drinking my dad's gin in freshman year of high school, and I literally filled it with water like an idiot, and we got in this big argument, and it was very emotional and lots of tears, and I was like, I'm fucking gay, by the way, like this really like hurts my feelings, and like blah 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 blah, like you don't even know me, and he was so sweet that just like ended the argument, and he just like held me and cried together, and he like told me he loves me no matter who I am. So it was, again, all around very fortunate experience, and I'm very aware that not everybody has it that easy. It's very emotional regardless.
It is.
Yeah. That's what's so important about this month is like all this like turmoil and emotions we go through. It's like we can finally just come together and like remind each other that this is like beautiful. This is what makes us beautiful. So let's move on to moisturizer. What do you say?
I have dry skin, so I'm gonna use the Squalane Omega Repair Cream. It's a little heavier than yours, I know.
For sure.
Yours is a little lighter in texture.
Yeah.
And you know, this is a heavier moisturizer, the one that I'm using, but it's still not like super heavy.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, again, it's chemical free.
It's nice that our friends are also so into like beauty, like skincare. We have a lot of friends who work with beauty.
My best friend is a trans woman. Her name's Nico. Shout out Nico. And she basically, well, beauty and skincare were so important in her transition and like her visual identity and her health. So like she taught me so much about skincare. Like everything I know is because of this. Love her.
Same.
Honestly.
Nico hooked everybody up.
So actually Nico worked at Sephora, which was my big introduction to skincare.
And so does Luca.
Yeah. So basically it's fun because we've had people that work there or people that like we just enjoy hanging out there, and like it's nice to go to Sephora and receive that education.
I go to Sephora like twice a month just to see Luca, and she sits me down and she just does the job. I'm like, well girl, I don't feel good today, sit me in your chair. You know, she's really funny, and she just does all her like little stuff.
Oh, totally.
She was like, you need this, this, and this, and this,
this.
And I'm like, thank you.
I'm like, I'm going on a date, and I'll go to the Sephora people. I'm like, can you please just like fix me? Like, I just need some concealer. I don't know how to do it.
Wear a mask, girl.
Okay, so let's move on to our final step here, which is oil. So I like to oil after I hydrate with a moisturizer. So this is tea tree as well. Circling back, it's like I have a lot of like blemish issues. So I'm just gonna do a really small amount. Sometimes I like to put it in my moisturizer too. Just like 3 drops usually. And just kind of like slowly massage it into your face. And you're glowing.
Yeah, I'm like glowing. Like, look at me. I'm a baby. I'm gonna use just 100% squalane oil.
Also, like, pro tip that I learned is like, so this is like an oil-based cleanser. Sometimes I like to use that instead of shaving cream because it's like an oil and it's like softer on the skin and it glides easier.
See, I never thought of doing that.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. It's been like a lovely practice of like self-care.
Face massages.
as well as like recognition of our experience as queer people. And if anything, like I would hope that you would take away that your biggest resource through all struggling is like your friends and your community.
Right.
And it's like you always have to remember that you are not alone. That's always what's like kept me strong throughout my coming out process, as well as just adulthood and like, you know, becoming who you truly are.
I feel like when you come out, all those doors open. I just made new friends, started going to new places, exploring new ideas, exploring new like interests, and it was all correlated to coming out. So yeah, come out or don't. But like I promise you, like it's the best thing that you could do as a person. It's just really truly being honest with yourself.
Let's just have a fun Pride Month.
Tea.